thinks the smaller guy is really the big guy in heart and the big guy in talent. He says, I believe Usyk has his number, and I believe that he's not a big heavyweight, which I think helps him in this particular fight. I just think he has the IQ that Tyson Fury won't be able to keep up. And with staying as time or rounds go on, I just like Usyk possibly by stoppage. Late or not by a punch, I think is just a mercy call by the referee. And those are the words of Bernard, the executioner. Hopkins. Let me counterpunch. First off, let's get all the politics or the possible politics ties out of the way. There is none. Okay, there are none. I think that that Usyk will come in with a sense of acknowledgement, knowing that I could and I can hurt Tyson Fury. But I'll say this, okay? I don't think Usyk's carried away with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like Andy was, you know. Remember Andy Ruiz and Joshua, and he caught Joshua and he hurt Joshua, and then the second fight was just a flop because he thought that I just have to land that one shot and I'm going to change the whole fight like I did the first fight. But that's not the case. I don't think Usyk thinks like that at all. And in fact, I don't think Usyk really flourished off of the idea of hitting him with one shot. Because again, I have to remind people that Usyk didn't hurt Tyson Fury with one shot. He didn't. He caught him with multiple lefts. Okay, that left hand was landing. You know what I mean? It landed in the first round. It landed in the second round. It landed like in the fourth round. It landed like in the seventh, the eighth, then the ninth. It landed, you know, and he was able to pinpoint where his jaw was going to be. And Usyk is very good at targeting shots, predicting where the head's going to be. He did the same thing with Tony Bellew. Okay, Tony Bellew had the same issue. Tony Bellew was slick. He was in there. He worked with those angles. He had a similar style to Tyson Fury, believe it or not, but he was the same size as Alexander Usyk. You know, and a lot of people think, oh, well, Usyk ain't all that. Look what Tony Bellew did to him. Well, yeah, Tony had his time in that ring. He had his time to shine. Okay, he did his thing. He showed why he upset David Haye like he did. He showed that in that fight, but only for about 4 rounds, because the next 4 rounds belonged to Usyk, where Usyk started to figure him out, and he went in there specifically to find out what Tony Bellew was about. You know, saying this to come back to Tyson Fury showed Alexander Usyk that he could box. Now, I don't know if that was necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but I can tell you he had success doing it. You know what I mean? So the thing is, you know, the bigger guy at heart, I think, will always belong to Alexander Usyk, because I think, you know, we base that on, well, his heart. I think his heart, it goes hand in hand with his conditioning and the way he preps, okay? So that's what I think about Usyk. You know, I mean, his heart is something totally different. That's why I was so upset about the Dubois fight. Why? Because the Dubois fight was simply him getting hurt by a shot that was ruled a low blow. But what if it wasn't ruled a low blow? That is when we would have seen what Alexander Usyk was really made out of, because regardless of what he felt it was, he still was going to go down, and that guy would have started counting, and then we would have tested his heart to see where he was at, you know, here and here. That's what we would have saw, but we couldn't see it based on the ruling. But that was the only time. We never seen Usyk just all over the place. We've seen him hurt. We've seen him rocked. We've seen Joshua do it. We've seen in his last fight, Tyson Fury do it. But he was able to regroup, you know, and restat and take a walk around the block. We've seen him do that. Okay, we've seen him, you know, get hurt and he came back. And his recovery abilities are pretty good. Okay, but so is Tyson Fury. So, you know, with Bernard Hopkins saying, well, you know, I just have the IQ that, I just think he has the IQ that Tyson Fury won't be able to keep up with. Okay, now, he has a point there. The IQ to keep up with, I think, means the ability to do these high, intense movements and counters and, footwork and those things for a long period of time. I think that's what he meant by that, being Bernard Hopkins. But I just think that Alexander Usyk has more in the gas tank. He has more. But to keep it a buck, though, Alexander Usyk was, you could tell he was in a 12-round fight. You know what I mean? He just didn't come out with this Manny Pacquiao-like energy when he fought someone like Sugar Shea Mosley, when he was just ready and you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. It was like he was in a fight, bro. Definitely. Especially that onslaught of him throwing that many punches in the 9th round, that it should have been stopped. Shout out to Mark Nelson, right? So that should have happened. But I think that, Bernard Hopkins thinks that it will be a mercy call by the referee. Well, if it's Mark Nelson, it won't be. Because Mark Nelson might keep that fight going, because he might justify if he's on the ropes, like, well, the ropes was keeping him up, so I can't stop and count. Okay, so it's just interesting to hear B-Hop go with Usyk. You guys tell me what you think about Bernard Hopkins' decision or prediction on Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk Part 2. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!